Today we'll be going through a very highly requested question paper. This is a June 2024 English A paper 1. May I remind you guys that this is a 60 multiple choice question paper and you have 90 minutes in which to complete it. For items 1 to 5, you're given some sentences. Each sentence has one word underlined, and your task is to choose from the 4 suggested answers the word which is nearly opposite in meaning to the word that's underlined. Question 1. Many teenagers and even some parents do not agree with the amount of restrictiveness in today's society. Our target word is restrictiveness, and the opposite of that is permissiveness. Question 2. Constructive criticism is neither appreciated nor encouraged by some of our peers. The underlined word is constructive, which means it's helpful or positive. Opposite of that is negative. Question 3. The affluence displayed in the community on the hill indicated the significant difference in economic status compared with dwellers in the city. Our target word is affluence, which means wealth, and the opposite of that is poverty. Question 4. The barren land was a result of agricultural practices. Barren means that it's not producing, and the opposite of that is fertile. Question 5. They always displayed a lackadaisical approach to their studies, so no one was surprised at the results. Lackadaisical is our underlined word. It means not putting out enough effort, not enough enthusiasm, or even lazy. And the opposite of that is diligent. For questions 6 to 10, you're to select the option that best describes each sentence. Select A if the sentence is too wordy. That means it's repetitive or it contains redundancies. Select B if the sentence contains cliches or misused metaphors. Select C if the sentence is incorrect grammatically or faulty in diction. And D if the sentence is acceptable as it stands. Question 6. He advanced a step or two to meet his attacker, who became alarmed and retreated back. Retreated back is a redundancy because retreated already means to go back, so that's A. Question 7. Her friend told her to look for the good in the situation, as every cloud has a silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining is a cliche. It's an overused phrase, so that's B. Question 8. She had adequate time to prepare for the interview. That sentence is perfectly fine, so that's D. Question 9. When the clerk raised his voice in protest, his boss asked him to hold his tongue, since empty vessels made the most noise and are often thrown in the den to be eaten by lions. That is quite an awkward sentence. So what is wrong with it? Empty vessels made the most noise is a cliche. Then we have thrown in the den to be eaten by lions, which is a misused metaphor. Misused because it doesn't match the rest of a sentence. It doesn't fit, which is why it doesn't sound quite right. So that is B. Question 10. If I was the captain of the West Indies cricket team, I will attack the batsmen with my fast bowlers. And this sentence is grammatically incorrect because we wouldn't say if I was the captain. It should read if I were the captain. And I will attack in the second clause, it should be I would attack. So the sentence would read, if I were the captain of the West Indies cricket team, I would attack the batsmen with my fast bowlers. For questions 11 to 15, some of the sentences are unacceptable because of inappropriate grammar, idiom, punctuation, or spelling. Your task is to select the one underlined part that you think is inappropriate and choose the corresponding letter. Now, if a sentence is acceptable as it stands, if you think it's okay, you're to choose D. Question 11. The novice climber called out to my partner and me for assistance as she struggled up the slope. And the answer to this one is D. There's no error. And right this minute, some of you are screaming at me, why is it not B? Why is it not my partner and I? Now, here's a big test, guys. If you should take out your partner and the novice climber was calling out to just you, would it still make sense? Let's try. The novice climber called out to me for assistance. Of course, it makes sense. How about if we had I there? The novice climber called out to I for assistance. No. So it's D. Question 12. Neither the books nor the pen are affordable on my meager budget. And the answer to this one is A. It should be is instead of are. Why? The rule is that when you're using neither and nor to connect two singular subjects, the entire subject is treated as singular. So it is neither the books nor the pen is affordable on my meager budget. Question 13. The earthquake in Haiti destroyed many buildings, devastated the population, and was a catalyst for other disasters. And the error here is at A. But I'm going to hasten to say that there's nothing wrong with the word destroyed. In fact, the structure of the sentence is fine in terms of grammar. The problem is with how it's being punctuated. So there should not be a comma before destroyed. And the rule we're following here is that a subject, the subject of a sentence, should not be separated from its verb by a comma. So the subject is the earthquake in Haiti. Its verb is destroyed. So it should flow like this. The earthquake in Haiti destroyed many buildings. After buildings, we can have our first comma. Question 14. He is full of venom since the war took a great toll on him. Again, the sentence is grammatically correct, but it is incorrectly punctuated. Putting a comma after war is creating an unnecessary break in the sentence. And there's also a rule here that we can follow, which is whenever a sentence starts with a main clause followed by a dependent clause that starts with a conjunction such as since, there is no need to add a comma. Question 15. I decided to eat hamburger before class, though I was already late. However, I was ravenous. Now, however, is a little bit awkward and wrongly used there. A more appropriate word to use would have been because. So it's C. Question 16 to 20. Revise each of the following sentences according to the directions that follow it. Do not change the meaning of the original sentence. Look at the options A to D for the word or phrase that best suits the revised sentence. Question 16. I would have considered going to the picnic had I heard of it earlier. We are to begin our revised sentence with since I did not know. How about since I did not know about it earlier, I could not consider going to the picnic. And so our word choice here would be A, I could. Question 17. The kitten, frightened by the thunder, cowered under the sofa. We are to begin the revised sentence with the thunder frightened the kitten, so. The thunder frightened the kitten, so it cowered under the sofa. So our word choice here would be B. Coward. Question 18. The cricket match ended abruptly when many of the spectators stormed the field. Our revised sentence should begin with many of the spectators stormed. So, many of the spectators stormed the field, so the cricket match ended abruptly. And so our choice is A. So. Question 19. These students are hardworking as well as respectful. And we are to begin our new sentence with not only. How about not only are these students hardworking, but they're also respectful. And our choice here would be D, but they are. And number 20, people from crowded nations cannot get over the accessibility of Canada's natural environment in all its magnificence. Begin the sentence with, it is impossible for. So here's what I've come up with. It is impossible for people from crowded nations to get over the accessibility of Canada's natural environment in its magnificence. And our choice is B, to get over. For questions 21 to 25, we have a word underlined in each sentence, and you are to choose from the four options the word nearest in meaning to the underlined word. So here we are looking for synonyms. Question 21. It was impossible to rectify the error made by the computer since inaccurate information had been fed into it. Now rectify means to fix, so that's A. 22. The flowers grow profusely in the garden. Profusely means in great abundance or overflowing. So our synonym here would be plentifully. 23. The new story revealed the squalor of the old prison cells. Squalor means really, really extremely dirty or filthy. So we're going for D, filthiness. Question 24. The gregarious young man was involved in numerous groups on campus and also enjoyed spending time with his large group of friends. And the word closest in meaning to gregarious is sociable. 25. Bushfires are prevalent during the dry season, but the current drought has made the situation worse. And the word closest in meaning to prevalent is frequent. We're now at the comprehension section of the exam paper. And to answer questions 26 to 33, we'll read through a poem called To a Daughter Leaving Home. When I taught you at 8 to ride a bicycle, loping along beside you as you wobbled away on two round wheels, my own mouth rounding in surprise when you pulled ahead down the curved path to the park. I kept waiting for the thud of your crash as I sprinted to catch up, while you grew smaller, more breakable with distance, pumping for your life, screaming with laughter, the hair flapping behind you like a handkerchief waving goodbye. Question 26. The speaker in the poem is most likely, and the answer is A. It's a parent. The title of the poem, To a Daughter Leaving Home, gives that away. 27. Why does the speaker compare the daughter's leaving home to her learning to ride a bicycle? 1. The daughter needs support in both activities. 2. The person remembers the child's courage and enjoyment. Or is it 3? The person thinks learning to ride a bicycle is hard, as is life. And I think all three of these are reflected in the poem. And so the answer is D. 1, 2, and 3. Question 28. The speaker's mouth is rounding in surprise because the girl wobbles but does not fall. That's A. B. The girl is confident that the speaker can keep up with her. C. The novice rider is able to easily ride around a bend. Or D. The daughter pulls away from the person's protective hold and rides ahead. And we are going to go for D because here the speaker is surprised that the daughter is able to suddenly ride independently. This is what we're picking up from the poem and from these lines. So D. Question 29. What device is used in lines 12 and 13 for the thud of your crash as I sprinted to catch up? Is it onomatopoeia? Is it repetition? Is it metaphor? Or is it simile? It's definitely A, onomatopoeia, because thud is a sound word. Question 30. The words breakable with distance indicate the speaker's A. concern that he or she is not keeping up with the child, B. fear that the daughter will fall prey to a variety of dangers, C. worry that the child is fragile and cannot cope with the bicycle, D. anxiety that the girl cannot be protected when she's away from home. And the answer is D. anxiety that the girl cannot be protected when she's away from home. Question 31. Pumping for your life indicates that the A. girl's well-being is compromised, B. person fears that the girl will fall, C. girl is willing to exert herself to succeed, D. person thinks that the girl is too young to be on her own, and the answer is C. girl is willing to exert herself to succeed. Question 32. What literary device is used in the last 4 lines of the poem? Right, so let's read those together. The hair flapping behind you like a handkerchief waving goodbye. Here the girl's hair is being compared to a handkerchief waving. And the word like is used to do the comparison. We know that a simile is the use of the words like or as to compare two things. So that's definitely a simile. Question 33. The word goodbye stands alone in the last line of the poem. Why is it there? Why? A. It indicates the end of one phase of life. B. It's there to point to the girl's happiness at leaving home. C. It represents the speaker's understanding that he or she has to let go. D. It symbolizes the end of the relationship between the person and the child. And the answer is C. It represents the speaker's understanding that he or she has to let go. Questions 34 to 41. Read the following extract carefully and then answer items 34 to 41 on the basis of what is stated or implied. She had always been a small woman, short, light-boned, delicately structured. But now, under the white hospital sheet, she was becoming tiny. I thought of a doll with huge, fierce eyes. There had always been a fierceness in her. It showed in that angry, challenging thrust of the chin when she issued an opinion. And a great one she had always been for issuing opinions. I tell people exactly what's on my mind, she had been fond of boasting. I tell them what I think, whether they like it or not. Often they had not liked it. She could be sarcastic to people in whom she detected evidence of the ignoramus or the fool. It's not always a good policy to tell people exactly what's on your mind, I used to caution her. If they don't like it, that's too bad, was her customary reply, because that's the way I am. And so she was, a formidable woman, determined to speak her mind, determined to bend those who opposed her. In that time when I had known her best, my mother had hurled herself at life with chin thrust forward, eyes blazing, and an energy that made her seem always on the run. She ran after squawking chickens, a knife in hand, determined on the beheading that would put dinner in the pot. She ran when she made the beds. She ran when she set the table. One Thanksgiving, she burnt herself badly when running up from the cellar oven with the ceremonial turkey. She had tripped on the stairs and tumbled back down, ending on the bottom in the debris of giblets, hot gravy, and battered turkey. Life was combat, and victory was not for the lazy, the timid, the slugabed, the drugstore cowboy, the mushmouth, afraid to tell people exactly what was on their mind, whether people liked it or not. She ran. Question 34. The mother's thrust of the chin is done in fear, hatred, defiance, contemplation, and the answer is C, defiance. 35. The son cautioned his mother about telling people exactly what she thought because he was affronted by her arrogance, thought others would be offended, found her behavior aggressive, was upset that she would not change. And the answer is B, thought others would be offended. Question 36. Why does the writer choose the expression a formidable woman to describe his mother? Now we know that formidable means strong and powerful, sometimes even feared. So the answer to that is D. He emphasizes her strength, which he finds admirable. Question 37. What does "in that time when I had known her best" say about the mother-son relationship? A. They had grown apart. B. They admired each other. C. They had always had a close relationship. D. The son had forgotten things about his mother. And the answer is A. They had grown apart. Question 38. What literary device is used in lines 12 to 13? My mother had hurled herself at life. And we're definitely looking at imagery here because the phrase creates this vivid picture of the mother attacking life with energy, with determination. Question 39. The behaviors the mother finds contemptible include timidity, laziness, cowardice. And we're going to go for all three of those because she criticized those who were timid, those who were lazy, and those who were afraid to speak their mind. So that is D, 1, 2, and 3. Question 40. The incident at Thanksgiving shows the mother's attitude to be one of hastiness, aggression, impudence, determination. And we're going for D, determination. 41. The final sentence of the extract implies that the mother has A. Become lazy and sleepy. B. Lost her physical strength. C. Hurt her leg in the hospital. D. Died leaving the son to reminisce. Huh. You know, if we were going deep, we would probably say D, died leaving the son to reminisce, because that last line on its own saying that now she was running no more could be pointing to her death. But I am convicted that it is B. She had lost her physical strength. And the reason for that is that he was actually by her bed reminiscing, and there was no suggestion within the text itself that she had died. So I think the best answer is B. She had lost her physical strength, so she couldn't run anymore. Questions 42 to 46 is based off the following extract. If you're a man, at some point a woman will ask you how she looks. You must be careful how you answer this question. The best technique is to form an honest yet sensitive opinion, then collapse on the floor with some kind of fatal seizure. Trust me, this is the easiest way out because you will never come up with the right answer. The problem is that women generally do not think of their looks in the same way that men do. Most men form an opinion of how they look by age 15 and they stick to it for the rest of their lives. Some men form an opinion that they are irresistible and they do not change this opinion even when their faces sag and their noses blow to the size of eggplants. Most men, I believe, think of themselves as average looking. Men will think this even if their faces cause heart failure and cattle at a range of 300 meters. Being average does not bother them. Average is fine for men. Their primary form of beauty care is to shave themselves, which is essentially the same form of beauty care they give to their lawns. If at the end of his 4-minute daily beauty regimen, a man has managed to wipe most of the shaving cream out of his hair and is not bleeding too badly, he feels he has done all he can, so he stops thinking about his appearance and devotes his mind to more critical issues, such as the World Cup. Women do not look at themselves this way. If I had to express in 3 words what I believe women would think about their appearance, those words would be not good enough. No matter how attractive a woman may appear to be to others, when she looks at herself in the mirror, she thinks, woof. She thinks that at any moment a municipal officer is going to throw a net over her and haul her off to the shelter. Why do women have such low self esteem? There are many complex psychological and societal reasons. Women grow up thinking that they need to look like Barbie, which for most women is impossible. Although there is a multi-billion-dollar industry devoted to convincing women that they must try. Getting back to my original point, if you're a man and a woman asks you how she looks, you're in big trouble. Obviously, you can't say she looks bad, but you also can't say she looks great because she'll think you're lying. Furthermore, she suspects that you're not qualified to judge anybody's appearance. This is because you have shaving cream in your hair. Question 42. The main idea of the extract is that men and women have different ideas of beauty and what is acceptable. Women have low self esteem because of societal's beauty ideals. Women must not try to trap men with their questions. Men do not understand women. And the answer is A. Men and women have different ideas of beauty and what is acceptable. 43. According to the author, women's self esteem is eroded by 1. The cosmetic and fashion industries, 2. Their own unquestioning acceptance of societal norms, 3. Dolls whose proportions do not match the average woman's. And the answer is D, all of those. Question 44. The writer believes that most men are free from the self-esteem problem women face because men A. think they are irresistible anyway, B. prefer the natural look to rigorous beauty regimes, C. are perfectly fine with being average looking, D. believe that it is the woman's job to look good, not theirs. The answer is C. They are perfectly fine with being average looking. Question 45. According to the extract, why is a man's beauty regimen so comparatively simple? Is it A, It's very low on his list of priorities. B. Most men look good anyway. They do not need a beauty regimen. C. Men are honest and sensitive and not as concerned with appearance. Or D. Men are less complex creatures than women and their habits reflect this. The answer is A. It is very low on his list of priorities. 46. The language of the extract is informal with personal interjections because the author A wants to make fun of the situation, B wants to create rapport with his audience, C is expressing his opinion, not studied facts, or is it D, which is to share simple truths about the sexes? And the answer is B. He wants to create rapport with his audience. We'll read the next extract in preparation for answering questions 47 to 54. This is an open request to try to find who is the brain behind traffic management in Paholo. Does anybody know? I have tried traffic branch, not them. Highways, not them. Planning and development, not them. In fact, nobody wants to take responsibility for certain decisions and the mess that results. For example, Mission Road was made one way, north to south. Great idea. It worked. No traffic jams. In fact, many people were charged for going the wrong way up a one-way street. Then suddenly, it's back to two-way traffic for so. Same is true for Stoke Street. Somebody changed the stop signs at the corner for a few weeks, then they changed it back. Nobody knows why. But the best is Celestial Road in St. John, which is Wrecker Haven. Somebody made this road, which apart from Broadway is the widest street in Paola, a no parking street, either side, anytime. And the wrecker is profiting from this. There are 4 major office buildings on this road, all of which provide underground parking for staff. So some, usually the lower paid, have to park elsewhere. And these are the persons whose cars the wrecker is taking away all day, every day. Again, the small man suffers. Oh, there's an exception. If you have a Canadian High Commission sticker, you can park and the wrecker will not touch your diplomatic car. Maybe we could all become diplomats. Then again, the 2 narrowest streets in Paola allow parking. Try Delino Street off Abbey Lane. You can hardly pass. Who is the brain behind this mess? It seems the more cars we put on the road, the less parking somebody wants to allow. Who is the brain? No doubt a small man with a big car who has no name. Question 47. The writer's use of the word brain in line 1 is meant to A. Compliment an individual, B. Create a comparison of streets, C. Make fun of the poor decisions, or D. Exaggerate the traffic problems. And this is clear. It's a sarcastic comment to make fun of the poor decisions that were being made. C. 48. When the writer repeats not them in paragraph 1, he implies that A. He is choosing someone to complain to, B. No one wants to accept responsibility for the traffic situation, C. No one knows who is in charge of the traffic management, or D. He is searching diligently for the person in charge of traffic. And the answer is B. No one wants to accept responsibility for the traffic situation. So he's asking different people, and everybody's saying, no, not us. So no one wants to take responsibility. 49. Stoke Street, Celestial Road, and Delino Street can best be considered as A. Prohibited streets for all drivers, B. streets that attract a lot of attention. C, examples to support the writer's case. Or D, assigned parking places for diplomats. The answer is C. They are only examples used to support the writer's case. Question 50. The writer's tone can be described as puzzled, resigned, sarcastic, complimentary, and we're going to go straight in for sarcastic. There are quite a lot of sarcasm used in the piece of writing. Question 51. The last sentence of the letter is similar to paragraph 5 because both of them A, mention cars, B, express disgust, C, are complimentary, and D, contain rhetorical questions. And the answer is express disgust. So I know some of you are going to have questions. I've already been asked this where I've done this particular question in a different paper. And a student asked, why is it not D? So why is it not D that both of them contain rhetorical questions? And the reason is, if you look at the last sentence of the extract, it says, no doubt, a small man with a big, big car who has no name. Now, that's not a question. There is a rhetorical question. Who is this brain? But that actually comes in the sentence before. Okay? Why is it not A? They both mention cars. I'd be very surprised and very disappointed as well with CSEC if they actually give you a question this simple as in they both mention cars. So, that's the answer. So I'm going to go for express disgust, B, right? I think that's the most appropriate answer. Question 52. The author of the extract is most likely A, and we're going to ignore all the others and go straight in for motorist because that's very, very obvious. Question 53. Again, the small man suffers implies that the small man is often A, ignored, B, disadvantaged, C, the one who is wrong, D, discriminated against, and we're going to select B, disadvantaged. Question 54. The letter was most likely published in a newspaper. Our final set of questions will be based off this advert. Energy efficiency tips. 1. Keep fixtures and bulbs clean. Dirt can absorb as much as 50% of light. 2. Turn off lights when leaving a room, even if it's only for a few minutes. It's just a myth that it takes more energy to turn a light on than to leave it on. 3. Use motion sensors for outdoor lights. They are a good security measure and don't waste energy. 4. Use lower wattage bulbs. Your lights may be brighter than you need. 5. Purchase lamps with dimmer switches, as you can lower the setting when less light is required. 6. Place floor or table lamps in a corner. This allows light to reflect from the walls, making the room brighter without turning on more lights. 7. Use fluorescent lights instead of incandescent lights. Compact fluorescent lights use up to 75% less energy than incandescent lights for the same amount of light and last up to 10 times longer. Question 55. The main purpose of the advert is to A. Sell light bulbs, B. Encourage better energy use, C. Promote lighting in the home, or D. Highlight energy use in the home. And the answer is B. encourage better energy use. Question 56. Which of the following is the best meaning of the word absorb as used in tip 1? Let's have a look at tip 1. It says keep fixtures and bulbs clean because dirt can absorb as much as 50% of light. So the answer there is use up, which is A. Dirt can use up as much as 50% of light. Question 57. Which of the following practices is recommended? A. Turning off all lights for a minute. B. Turning off the lights for short periods. C. Keeping the lights on when leaving a room. Or D. Turning off the lights when leaving a room. And the answer is D. Turning off the lights when leaving a room. Question 58. The advert emphasizes that motion sensors are important because they. Let's have a quick look at what it says. Tip 3. Use motion sensors for outdoor lights. They are a good security measure and don't waste energy. So the answer here is A. They are efficient and they provide security. Question 59. Which of the following statements is not made in the advertisement? A. Low wattage bulbs use less energy. B. Not all light bulbs are energy efficient. C. Compact fluorescent lights are energy efficient. Or is it D. Lamps placed on the floor are better for energy efficiency? And the answer is D. Because while they did mention putting the lamps in a corner, nothing was said of placing the lamps on the floor. Question 60. The information in the advert is most useful to who? Electricians, householders, the light company, or building contractors? I'm sure you'll all agree with me that it is B, householders. Guys, I hope this has been beneficial to you. And if so, please, please, please like and subscribe for more exam walkthroughs and share it with your friends if you think they may benefit as well.